Belle from bellandedward.com, and I'm here with Andrew from Twilight Source, and we're here at the world premiere of Twilight Saga Eclipse. So how long have y'all been here?
Sunday night.
Since Sunday. So what have y'all been doing in the past week?
Bonding. Lots of bonding.
Have y'all made lots of new friends?
Yes.
Whole group. I met these chicks through Twilight years ago, so.
Yeah.
Brand new friends. We're going to be Facebook friends.
Yeah, of course.
People together.
It does, I know that.
Since Sunday night.
Sunday night. So what have you been doing for the past week?
We're camping out, meeting new people. It's been an amazing experience.
So where are you guys from?
I'm from England.
You're from England?
Yeah.
Orange County, California.
LA.
Mojave Desert.
We've been here since Friday.
It's Friday. Wow, okay, so what have you been doing? That's like almost an entire week. That is an entire week.
Well, the first night we camped out in our car. We slept in the car, and then we waited till Monday to come and camp out with everybody else. But we've just been having fun, meeting new friends, and just waiting for today.
Sunday.
Wow. And what have you been doing for the past 4 days? Just camping out?
Waiting the whole day.
In our tents, outside our tents, in
Freezing.
Starbucks.
Starbucks.
Lots of Starbucks, I'm assuming?
Starbucks.
Since Sunday around 5:30.
Wow. And what have you been doing for the past 4 days? Just
Absolutely nothing.
Eating, sleeping,
tanning, doing nothing.
socializing.
Being drowsy and out of our heads sometimes.
stock up on Starbucks over there a lot?
Yes, yes.
And have you made a lot of new friends in being here an entire week?
That we were with, we became really close friends with them. They actually met each other last year at New Moon, and so now we met them this year. And so we became really close, and we camped with them and everything this last 5
Well, that's really cool. bellandedward.com and Twilight Source here. So what would you describe your style of music as?
Oh.
We always just say rock and roll.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that, right?
Classic rock and roll. All right. So what inspired this song? The song that made it into the Eclipse soundtrack?
I mean, the situation we were in kind of inspired the actual lyrics and the vibe of the song. I mean, we were put in a spot where they needed a song right away, so we just pounced on it. You know, we started winning and we just worked as hard as we could. And that's kind of where the name Million Miles an Hour came from. We can do that. We can. Because we didn't see the scene, we didn't know what we were writing for exactly, so it was exciting. And when we got the call, we got it. We couldn't believe it.
So you have the opening title of the Eclipse soundtrack. It's a pretty big song. What was it like, writing that? Was there any pressure on you or anything to produce the song?
Well, we got a call from Howard Shore, who wrote the score. So it's actually, he wanted a theme song for the movie. So unlike just being on the soundtrack, this was really, I suppose you could call it pressure, because he said, come to my studio, I'm going to show you, what was this, a month ago or two? I'm going to show you the scene from the end of the film, give you the scripts, and I want you to write from Bella's perspective as a part of the score that he was writing. So yes, there was some pressure.
All right. And so how has this been different compared to all the other albums and all the other songs that you guys have written in the past?
It's completely different, because we've never written with Howard or anyone doing a score before. And also, to be told you're not writing as Emily Haynes, you're writing as this character, Bella. So it was a completely new experience, and he had the key already, and that it had to be in certain progressions and ideas. So we had to really work within just making it about the film and his vision for the music to go with it.
Breaking Dawn's going to be split into 2 movies. Any idea as to where the split's going to happen?
I don't know exactly the point, but you can imagine that about half the book is from Bella as a human point of view, and half the book is from Bella as a vampire. So that seems like a natural split.
All right, cool. And obviously Eclipse, the whole Twilight Saga, is a very big production. How does it, what's the toughest thing about working on such a big movie and such a big production?
Well, it's interesting from a budget standpoint. These aren't the biggest movies I've worked on. It's really in terms of fulfilling the fans, desires for what these books represented to them. And I think, every step along the way, we've really tried to capture the emotions that came from the books that people have when they read the books. And Kristen and Robin Taylor do a great job of embodying these characters. And as much as we kind of spend a little bit more on every movie, it's really about capturing that romance.
All right, cool. And how has working on Eclipse been different from the other 2 movies?
These were these big action films. I mean, these were really, there was a lot of complicated action. It's the first time we had wolves fighting, people, real actors. And so that takes a very kind of steady hand understanding how all that works. But really, I think sustaining the emotional triangle between Bella and Edward and Jacob was the thing that we focused most on.
You obviously play a werewolf in the movie.
Yeah.
How much of the actual acting scenes do you get to do with the whole CGI and the wolves?
I was a little disappointed because I was expecting to be like in a wolf suit or in a computer suit with like the dots on it, like Avatar or something like that, but we didn't get to do any of that. It was all computers, so I didn't get to run around on my hands and knees.
You play a bad guy, you play the Volturi, and what makes playing a bad guy so much fun?
Because you just don't get to be a bad guy every day. I mean, people are nice and every day, and you got to kind of deal with society, but you get to just enjoy that animal sort of anger and aggression, and you bring it up and just have a lot of fun with it.
I just have to ask, what's up with the hair?
Dude, it's summertime, man. I'm just trying to keep it easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl, you know what I'm saying? Well, what can you say about that?
So obviously you play a Volturi character. Is it more fun to play a bad guy than a good guy?
Yes, it is.
What do you enjoy about it?
It's because you get more freedom. You know, if you're a good guy, you're good. That's it. If you're a bad guy, you can be good, bad, in between. You can do whatever you want. And that's what I like about it. That's what I like about being a bad guy.
So you play a newborn vampire, and a lot of their emotions are very tortured. How do you create that look on film?
Yeah, well, Bree Tanner, she's a little bit different from all the other newborn vampires because even though she's driven by that same thirst, inside she really doesn't want to be a bad person, and she's willing to change her ways.
All right, so how was the getting into character part for you? Was that difficult?
Well, it was great that I had the Bree Tanner book to read before I started filming because I didn't know a lot about Bree, so I was able to find out a lot more about her, and then I was able to figure out her character a lot better.
We hear you're being credited as a producer for Breaking Dawn. What is your involvement in the movie?
You know, probably very similar to what it was with Eclipse. I've become more and more involved with each movie. I think just as Summit's gotten really comfortable with me because, like, we're all friends now. We all hang out. We all discuss it together. I think it's kind of scary, the idea of an author coming in. With a movie studio, I think they're going to want to have everything a certain way. They're going to be difficult. And I think it means I'm not difficult, that they keep letting me work with them. So this is kind of just an on-paper thing, because I've really been sort of producing on the last one. And I'm excited to be involved with all the casting on this one. Casting is my favorite part. Casting is fun.
That's great. And so Breaking Dawn's going to be split into 2 movies. Where do you think that split might happen?
My personal opinion is that it has to be when she opens her eyes and they're red. Because I feel like that moment is so full. Anything you do right after that's going to be anticlimactic. So you stop there and you save all of what it's like to be a vampire for the next movie.
Right, so you just came out with their new book about Bree. Why did you pick Bree out of all the characters?
As it often happens, Bree sort of picked me. When I was working on Eclipse, this is before Twilight came out. This is a long time ago. My editor was kind of saying, okay, tell me what happens in Seattle, why is this happening? She was very confused. Because it was confusing, we needed to straighten it out a little bit. And so I started thinking about what they were doing, and because I had named Bree, she was the one that sort of started telling the story. And in fact, hi to Bree Painter, who Bree is named after. I don't know if she'll see this. I've kind of lost touch with her, but she's great. She's been around from the very beginning, and I needed a name that was like, something a 14 or 15-year-old would have had right then, and so I gave Bree her. I took Bree, used her name, and then killed her character, which felt kind of mean. I felt bad about that.
All right, so what are you working on currently? Anything exciting?
The movies actually take up a ton of time, so mostly I'm working on scripts. Like, we do a lot of versions, and so every script that comes out, you go through, you do your notes, we meet, we talk about it. I'm also working on the guide sometimes, which is, it's slow. It's, writing a dictionary. I don't recommend that, but I think there's going to be a lot of really good backstories, fun things that, Alice. Everyone wants to know what happens to Alice, right? So I think that'll be really cool.